And we're back.
We're back.
God.
Do you know where we stopped at, Johnny?
No idea.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right. Long story short, like Tim Seeley made a statement, right? That it was sort of like, not even a statement. He just tweeted something.
Yeah.
I don't want to make it more important than it needs to be.
It's a statement.
Right. It wasn't a statement, but like he just basically said like he comes from a generation of people that don't post their L's, and he wasn't saying that as criticism, of course. He was saying that as like a fact, and he's like he appreciates the people like talking about these things in the Comics Broken hashtag. But I'm curious, as someone who is part of a generation of people that don't post their L's, all right? How do you feel about this? Like, what were your thoughts about this? Because I mean, it wasn't escapable for like about 2 days online. So,
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Or do you even have a take?
I'm all for this conversation, right? Like, the way you get rid of stigma around certain topics is by having those conversations. And companies benefit from keeping the conversation about certain things stigmatized, specifically money and benefits. And you create this system where it's really taboo to discuss your money, so you can get away with underpaying people because everybody just assumes they're being paid the same.
Compensated equally,
or even fairly. So this is a great way to start breaking down that stigma to make sure that people get paid fairly.
No, I mean, and yes, this is where like I was, reading the comments and reading some of the people's like, their own threads about the topic. This is kind of where I'm like, yes, but no, right? And I only say this because I'm all for transparency, right? But there were definitely people online who were saying like that, they want the people who are at the top of the pay scale to show or talk about how much money they're being paid for the people who are like in the middle and the bottom. And yeah, right. That was kind of my reaction too. I was like, I don't
think that's necessary. Like for me, kind of my knee-jerk reaction looking at the way this was unfolding and the way this conversation was going was immediately I compared it to the way college football approached their players. Until just a few years ago, college football players couldn't accept endorsement deals or sponsorships or make money on playing. Even though the universities that they played for, Alabama and LSU and Clemson and Ohio and all of these schools are making money hand over fist on those games and those names and those bodies, but they never saw a dime of it. So do you need to know how much money the president of Alabama is making in order for the players to also make money? No. You just need to make it equitable and make sure that those people are getting an output for their input.
No, I mean, the equality of opportunity, right? Which I think is very valid. I love the fact that you said like making money off of their bodies. Yeah. Because that's one of the things. I used to watch football for a little while, and then I was sort of like, I don't know about this. Something about this doesn't feel right. But yeah, it's an interesting topic, and I'm like, I am glad that people are discussing this. There's a part of me that wishes like it wasn't a conversation that had to happen on Twitter, because
100%.
Because it always feels like someone screaming from a street corner, And look, I get it. You got to talk about it, and I say that because I wish that we were already having these conversations in places that mattered, right? Like, and also, Twitter's also absolutely not. Twitter's also the it's like I said, it spirals quickly, right? You know what I mean? And it gets into these weird places where it's like, okay, like, I don't think that's the conversation we need to be having with this, My problem with having conversation on Twitter and really any social media platform for that matter is social media, it feels very on a whim and limited. And those conversations roll over so quickly that you run the risk of taking a very serious topic like this, asking people to, strip down and be vulnerable about the ways they've been exploited and taken advantage of, which is a big ask to lay down your raw emotion on the internet, and then nothing comes of it. Because that conversation will be over in a week, and then pick your publisher will get to go back to their business of underpaying creators, and there's nothing gained other than ripping off a Band-Aid for no reason, reopening a wound. And then putting it back on. I mean, it's interesting, these last couple of weeks have been really centered around creators' rights in a very particular way.
Yes.
I've noticed, like I know the Image is dealing with some union stuff right now that I kind of understand, but I don't fully understand, so I won't even bother explaining it. I suggest you guys definitely look into it. And then of course the lawsuit thing that we were talking about earlier, and this as well. It's just really interesting. It's also really interesting that Ian McGinty passes one day, and then John Romita Sr. passes another day, and they're kind of on two different ends of this conversation as well. You know what I mean? And I mean, I'm not sitting here going to say that John Romita Sr. didn't have to deal with the same stuff.
Sure.
That that Ian McGinty had to deal with, but it's just like they're regarded differently, I guess is the way I'm putting it, right? So continue having the conversation. I just wish there was a better platform than Twitter to have it.
A more serious
platform. Yeah, right. Because I joked before, I'm not a fan of gatekeeping, but I understand why gatekeeping happens sometimes.
I understand that, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because not everybody needs to be a part of the conversation, right?
Yeah,
So,
you don't need to give an opinion if you're not informed. It's okay to just not say something.
Not say anything, right, exactly. But, those platforms allow that, so anyway. All right, let's jump into this week's trailer. Am I right, Johnny, or am I wrong? All right,
sounds good to me.
Let's get into this week's trailer, Scarlet Couture. And when I come back, I'll tell you a little bit more about it. Check it out.
3 years ago, there was a terrorist attack on Las Vegas. We managed to stop it, but we learned that it was all a cover, a plot to steal Layden. A computer program designed to override, access, and steal information from anyone's computer system. And I'm going to track it down. Who am I? I'm Scarlett Carver. To the public, I'm head of security for my mother's billion-dollar fashion empire, Chase Couture. In secret, Chase Couture is a cover for the Covert Investigations Group. We keep tabs on all the big guys, the untouchables, those who like to think they're above the law. If you think you can hide, my team will track you down and take you out in style.
So, the thing I love about this is actually the artist, Des Taylor, aka Des Pop. I've been following him for years on social media, and I was always stricken by how he doesn't have a book out on the shelves, because he was doing these very we talk about romance comics. He has a very, very romantic style.
Yes.
It's very lush in a lot of ways. And he likes to draw women elegantly, right? And then in action situations on top of that, right? It was really cool to just kind of be like, oh, hey, Des Taylor's doing a book. That's awesome.
I love that.
I love that, absolutely. So yeah, that's available. That is available when?
Soon.
Sorry.
At some point.
Soon. So it's in this catalog, so that means it'll be available in August.
Yeah.
Am I right? Yes, in August. So definitely make sure to pre-order through previews or through Previews World Pull Box, or just go to your local comic shop and be like, you there. I want this book. I needs it. All right. We are, of course, late as always.
We also started 15
minutes late, so forgive us a little bit, because we're going to eat up the next 15 minutes, if anything. Let's dive into asinine arguments. How about that? All right, let's do it. I forgot. Sorry. I just remembered what this was about when I looked at the outline again. I'm sorry. Continue.
Somebody very near and dear to my heart is celebrating their birthday. That would be Grimace, McDonald's fame. Look, you guys, I love Grimace. I started an office-wide argument about Grimace.
Yes, you did.
In 2019 that went on for several months.
Several months, yes. And
Still going on.
I was going to say, I don't think it's ever been fully resolved, actually. That's also another part of this.
So Grimace is turning 52 52, which seems like a really funny and arbitrary birthday to celebrate. So McDonald's is doing it up big.
They forgot that he was 50 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Right.
So they're celebrating his 52nd birthday with a very, very special, very, very weird Grimace milkshake.
Okay.
Available at McDonald's. This is a real thing.
Yeah.
Now, it's important to know, what ridiculous, unreal thing would you eat alongside your Grimace milkshake?
Okay. Well, can I ask one question first before we get into the poll? What is the flavor?
Apparently, it is mixed berry.
Okay.
Because it's
right,
purple.
Okay. All right. I thought you were going to tell me plum or something like that. I was like, no, thank you.
Grape?
Okay.
Oh my God. Here, have a Dimetap flavor.
Right. Just watch your teeth erode. Okay. All right. So okay. Now that I know that, I just felt like that was important context. So now that I know that, you're asking what now?
I'm asking, this milkshake actually exists.
Yes.
But what of these 3 options that I've come up with that don't exist would be a hilarious side to your Grimace milkshake?
Interesting.
And your choices are clown fries, which I have to believe are French fries that look like Ronald McDonald. Mayor McCheese, the character, or a hamburgled burger. So
what is a hamburger?
A burger that the Hamburglar has stolen and gifted you.
Oh, interesting. Okay. I was like,
I
is
put
it
way
like?
too much thought into
I was like, is it a burger-shaped wrapper, and then there's nothing inside it? Like that would be hilarious.
Oh, and that's what the milkshake looks like.
It actually doesn't look bad.
Right?
I'll give you guys that. Oh man. I feel like clown fries are a thing.
Are they?
I feel like I've heard that before.
I hope not.
That's just like my nightmares.
Great.
Or Mayor McCheese. I mean, look, I'm guilty of this all the time. I want a burger with a milkshake. Like,
That's fair.
That's all there is to it. Like, normally, yes, fries as well, but usually the fries are just me being greedy and a fat jerk.
You dip the fries.
Right.
Okay.
Well, I'm not going that far.
No.
I know people who do that.
So do
I'm
I.
not into that.
Get a
But
soggy French fry out of it.
yeah, I don't get that. Not a fan. So I guess I'll go with Mayor McCheese and a Grimace milkshake.
Okay.
I mean, Mayor McCheese is a burger, right? He's a cheeseburger.
Yeah,
right?
he's a cheeseburger and a mayor.
And a mayor, right? Yeah.
He wears a hilarious
He's got a
sash.
sash, right? Yeah. Okay. So Mayor McCheese, that's my answer. Johnny.
But then it's just cannibalism. Seriously? You're going to be eating Mayor McCheese while he's still alive. Like, help me!
Oh my God.
Screaming.
I was about to say, what do you mean, like screaming in agony while you're chewing on them? These are things we need to know.
Where's Birdie? Fly me away from this horrible situation.
What will become of McDonald Land?
Right? They'll have no leadership anymore. They'll leave it to the clown? I don't think so.
Their infrastructure will crumble.
Right.
This is the story that Ashton really wants to read. Is a post-apocalyptic wasteland that McDonald's Land devolves into after Mayor McCheese's reign has ended.
Oh, wow. We need that. A post-apocalyptic McDonald's Land story.
Oh my God.
And you know, it's funny too, because didn't was it Lance who sent us the pictures of an abandoned McDonald's Land?
Yes.
And it looked
It's
post-apocalyptic.
alarming.
It looked
Yes.
post-apocalyptic. Oh my God, I need this now. I need to see
And then
this.
there's an entire power struggle for who will be the next leader.
Yeah, oh wow, because Mayor McCheese is gone. Yeah. Oh, and it comes down to what, Ronald and
The Hamburglar.
the
Hamburger was acting as the Robin Hood of the land, like stealing hamburgers and giving it to the poor.
I like that. That's good.
Being
I love that.
chased endlessly by Officer Big Mac.
Yes. What was it? Wasn't there like a McDonald's car or something like that, or a buggy or something?
Yes, there is.
Okay, all right.
I don't know what it's called, but there is one.
So you can get into the Mad Max territory with this.
Yes.
That's what I want personally. And like the idea of Ronald McDonald's as like a Morton Joe.
Oh, you know how in Mad Max there's not a lot of water. Everyone is like jostling for water,
Yeah.
but you're jostling for whatever is left of a McFlurry because the machine's always
Those are
broken.
I love that. That's the barter system.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, this is amazing. Okay. Yes, I am way into this now. We went on a tangent, but
We do have a couple comments here.
yeah. Well, please comments. Tell us what you guys have. 'Cause this is wild.
Rom saying, welcome back, going to end up watching it later. Well, I just wanted to say hello.
Hey.
Annie Fox finally checking in. Hello from Palm Springs.
It's about time, Ian.
Where have you
God,
been?
where have you been?
We have been worried sick. let's see. Fantastic Four saying that Grimace milkshake has got to be all sugar.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, because that's actually the
not
whole
even
Grimace
thinking
thing. He swishes up milkshakes in his belly.
Oh wait, what? Oh yeah, that was a thing.
After he was done being evil Grimace and they rebranded him so that kids wouldn't be afraid,
Right.
he was like the milkshake shaker.
You know, you got to get Evil Grimace involved in the post-apocalyptic McDonald's stand. You got to do
A
that.
battle among evil Grimace and good Grimace.
Oh man, you got to do that now. Oh God, yeah. I'm not kidding. I've been in comic book making mode.
Yeah.
I kind of want to make this happen. Like, I'm very serious. I want to do this before anybody else thinks of it.
I would be your first customer.
Okay. Yes. Got
Copyright,
one book
you heard it
sold.
Sold.
Copyright, you heard it here first.
I was here first. Well, technically, I guess it belongs to McDonald's.
But the idea.
The idea. There you go.
Fantastic Four is saying he just pulled up the nutrition facts, nothing remotely close to a berry.
Nonsense.
Well, I mean, that goes without saying.
McDonald's.
I recently discovered that Subway got into trouble because their bread wasn't bread. This was about a few years ago, so it was probably.
What was it?
I don't know. This was a few years ago, so definitely probably during the time that I was actually eating Subway sandwiches.
Oh no.
So I don't know. I think it was I swear it was paper or something like that. I think it was paper. I really do. I'm gonna look this up. Johnny, if you can look that up, please.
No, I'm gonna read the.
Okay, Johnny's gonna look. I'm gonna look this up.
Mystical Green Beanie saying, "Have you seen the hamburger? I don't want anything he's touched."
He wears gloves.
Yeah, he's got gloves.
And goes robble. He sounds like a tauntaun.
Does he?
Yeah, robble.
Oh, yeah, he does, yes.
Fat Tony saying clearly it's Mayor McCheese.
The only obvious choice.
Clearly.
Ubaldo saying he's hungry now.
You're welcome.
Fat Tony saying it writes itself.
It does. That's
seriously
gold.
Ubaldo saying he would buy one.
You got 3 customers now.
I'm looking at the Subway thing.
What else? Okay, this one's great because I know about this.
Okay.
Cover Price Comics is saying there's a Black Sabbath spoof band with McDonald's characters on stage. This is a real thing.
Do they play instruments? Oh
They
my
do.
God, it's like Five Nights at
And
Freddy's.
it's called,
It's fuck.
and honestly, it's called Mac Sabbath.
Oh wow!
I love it and hate it. Why does he have horns? Is that a tusk?
That's a tusk. Apparently.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they sing Black Sabbath covers, but all about fast food.
Oh my!
That's hilarious.
We need to find this.
Yes.
I'm going to look this up next time. Please remind me about this afterwards. Just for the record, a judge. This is in Ireland. A judge stipulated. A judge finds that the sugar content of Subway exceeds the stipulated limit, and they should thus be classified as confectionery. That's what it was.
Oh.
Right. So they just put so much sugar in.
Just here, have your sub on a donut.
Right. Exactly. So anyway.
Going back to the
Back to
original.
the
that's
poll,
right.
right?
Yeah,
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 we're just Tangent City. That's what's going to happen.
So, are you still going with
I'm going Mayor
cheese
McCheese.
cannibalism?
It's got to be, otherwise our entire plot is shot.
Yeah,
Right.
true.
There we go. Nope. Rather, people were just not going to go for that kind of cannibalism and go with a simple hamburger burger.
Okay. I mean, I guess it's nice that he stole and gifted it to you.
I guess.
I guess that's nice.
It is very Robin Hood of
It
him.
is very Robin Hood. I like this idea, guys. I'm not going to let this go.
I do want to point out really quick because in doing the research about this, I did find a really good article on the Washingtonian website about this that actually goes into the depth about the history of Grimace, but then look at the picture that they used for
Oh, I hate it.
AI generated image by Midjourney, and this is what generated.
And you know what? We're going to make an AI comic. There's a post-apocalyptic McDonald's story. We're going to do this.
All the characters are going to look slightly off.
Slightly off, so we don't get sued. There you go.
Yay, that's the solution.
Yeah, that's the solution. I'm not kidding. I'm going to fire up Midjourney tonight or something and figure this out. I've been meaning to do this anyway. I kind of want to figure it out. So, all right.
In all honesty, though, Ashton, if you go and find this article later on by the Washingtonian, they have a really good in-depth history of the character Grimace.
Oh, okay.
This is seriously right up your alley, and it says the story of how he originally
Evil
had 4
Grimace.
arms.
Yeah, he was Evil Grimace. He was on the Hamburglers team, but his whole thing was like he's trying to steal milkshakes, and he would take them back to his cave with his 4 arms, and he was like making piles of milkshakes. But he scared the kids, and it didn't test well for McDonald's or their playgrounds or whatever they're called, play place. So they had to rebrand Grimace to be not scary.
Not scary.
Yeah. But when you have a chance, look at that article in the Washingtonian. I think you'd really like it.
I mean, shout out to the Hamburglar for recruiting someone who has multiple arms. That's
Right?
kind of perfect. That's ideal if you're a burglar, I would imagine.
Right? You can burgle twice as much.
Twice as much. There you go. Let's jump into the comic shop shout out for this week. What we got?
You got it. This week's comic shop shout out goes to One Stop Shop Comics and Gaming. We're not sure where in the world this is, but
Well, I have it in the credits, so.
okay, that's
Okay.
where I was headed
So
with
you'll
that.
find out later. It's a big mystery.
Right. All right, so you can check that out during the credits roll. That came from Nathan. You can get a look inside their shop in addition to figuring out where in the world they're located. If you want us to shout out your local comic book shop on the show, find us on social media, tag your shop. If they don't have a handle, just leave their name, and use the hashtag #SupportYourLCS. We'll find your local comic book shop, shout them out on the show, and give them some love.
Did that say Nathan SpongeBob?
Did it?
Is that what that said?
No. It says support your LCS.
No. The
No.
Facebook thing.
The person who posted this comic shop shout out.
Oh, it's close. It's close.
Okay.
And it's found out it's in Clinton, Massachusetts.
Okay. All right.
All right,
Shout out to
well,
Clinton, Massachusetts.
Now we know where in the world is Carmen Sandiego.
There you go.
Speaking of SpongeBob, I need to point out that Grimace horror image looked like the love child of Patrick Star in Grimace.
Oh God, you're right. Actually, yeah. Before you even said that, I was like, it looks like Patrick. It totally does. Here's your reminder to like, follow, and subscribe. You can hang out with me at Previews World. You can hang out with Ashton at
Free Comic Book Day. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok.
And I think things are going to be getting pretty interesting over there in the near future. Like, yes, we're no longer going to be doing the show in a couple of weeks, but to compensate for that, we're going to be engaging you guys in different ways. And so there'll be a lot of fun opportunities to hang out with Ashton and talk to her, and hang out with me and talk to me as well in Previews World. If you hit to previewsworld.com right now, there's an interview with Jerry Dugan, who is the writer of The Giant Cockatoo.
I'm sorry. I'm not sorry.
I mean, no, that's what it's there for. That's why it's named the way it is. So I picked this book a couple weeks ago. It is one of my favorite titles right now. It is a brisk 3 issues. The last issue is out today. Dugan and Scott Koblish are basically doing a book about a horny kaiju who is the byproduct of a lot of our waste as humans, and has arrived at the shore of I'm assuming some West Coast city, and is copulating with the entire town and doing other inappropriate things as well.
Doing the deed with the Seattle Space Needle.
There you go. Actually, Johnny, can you scroll back up? Sorry, this isn't for kids. There you go.
He's having a great time. You can tell.
So, this book is out right now from Image Comics. I really do find it hilarious. It is on some Beavis and Butthead.
Next level.
Like, absolutely Coen Brothers nonsense. Like, if that is something that you're in the mood for, then definitely check out The Giant Cockatoo. I talked to Jerry Dugan. He talks a bit about the process of what brought about this story, where the concept came from. Of course, it was during COVID when no one else had anything better to do.
Oh, yeah.
And their imaginations were running around wild. Definitely check that out, the interview, and definitely check out the book that's in comic shops now. Also, just want to circle back to the Manga versus American Comics Roundtable, right? I had a really great conversation with James Easterly of Comics Wellspring, Kurenai Kiba, who is attached to Artway Alliance and a bunch of other places as well. We've had her on further. She's kind of I joke she's our resident manga expert these days. Also, she's attached to Chromicon. And Comic Tropes, Chris Pierce came on as well. We had a good conversation. Like, I was hopped up on Benadryl, but we managed to make a coherent discussion happen during the course of this. And of course, look, the end result is that I'm going to spoil it. Manga are comic books,
yes.
right? And therefore, it's a win for everybody, no matter what happens. But you get into some interesting layers on top of that during the conversation and the history of the medium in general. So, especially in the wake of Comics Broke Me, Chris brings up some really interesting statements. So definitely check that out. That's on the Previews World YouTube right now, as well as the Frank Miller interview, which is going to wrap up tomorrow. We got the fourth part of my Frank Miller Dan DiDio interview is going up tomorrow at 3 o'clock, so definitely check that out as well. The final episode of Preview Weekly will be on June 28th. But be sure to follow Free Comic Book Day on TikTok, as we will be making more content over there as well. So definitely hang out with Ashton. And that is it for Previews World Weekly. I'm one of your hosts, Troy Jeffrey Allen.
I'm your other host, Ashton Greenwood.
And we'll see all of you at the Spinner Rack. Catch you later.